Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It, a show that explores how to upgrade your lifestyle through life lessons, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Here's your hostess, Sekola Lair. Have you ever wanted to start a business and the closest people to you on the face of this earth have told you maybe you should seek an alternative route? Maybe you should go to school and get a degree and maybe pursue that dream later. But there's something, a burning desire inside of you to still continue to pursue your dream, your passion, and your purpose. Today, that's what this particular episode is all about. And I have the pleasure of bringing on Ksenia Mirella, who is the founder of Ksenia Mirella Jewelry in London, UK. Now, Ksenia embarked on her creative journey in 2019 with a passion for expressing art through jewelry making. Fine luxury jewelry making, I might add. And her dream of establishing unique jewelry brand led her to take bold steps towards independence. So when she launched Ksenia Mirella Jewelry as a modern brand reflecting the strength and independence of its creator, which is evident by her logo on her website, the Queen chess piece, she draws that inspiration of grace and fearlessness displayed by powerful women worldwide. And through her designs, she captures the essence of empowerment, making her jewelry not just adornments, but symbols of strength and individuality. So, welcome to the WLO community. Ksenia, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me. That was a very beautiful introduction. And yeah, it's a lot to live up to. It's great.
Well, I've done my research about you and I'm just amazed. When I went onto your website, guys, if you want to check that out, kseniamirella.com. That's KSENIAMIRELLA.com. And I saw the pieces. Immediately the first thing I thought was, okay, she had to have some type of leg up in this. Maybe she had family that helped her out, or that was immediately where my brain went. And then when I delved deeper into your story, I found out that you didn't. You didn't.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's quite the opposite, actually. I come from a very humble background. So my mother, she was a teacher. She's a single parent, first generation immigrant as well in London. So it was definitely a very humble upbringing. We had nothing to do with jewelry. None of my parents or anybody in the family was in the industry prior to me. And I was raised in a quite conservative background, so it was mainly you going to university, you're probably going to study something conservative such as medicine, economics, or law. That was what was expected of you, and hopefully build a great future for yourself. So, and I ended up disappointing my family for a great part of my life until things started working out in little baby steps. So, yeah, it's definitely a very tough learning curve and getting to where I am now, but I'm quite grateful for the journey. And yeah, there was definitely no leg in within the industry. It was all quite baby steps and learning and how to do things and making many mistakes along the way.
Wow. And thank you for sharing that about your story, because one of the questions, I want to start with this question first from one of the Work It, Live It, Own It listeners. Here's the question they had for you. They said, Ksenia, I'm intrigued by London's competitive jewelry market. What inspired your confidence to not only navigate, but thrive and compete with renowned jewelers in such a challenging landscape?
That's a very interesting question. It's definitely a tough one because I I think I was a little bit delusional at the beginning, which you have to be in a way to build up your confidence. And you kind of take that leap of faith, believing in yourself and thinking that no matter what, you could do it. Um, and if you think about it, every single industry is competitive. I couldn't think of a single place or a company where you wouldn't have politics, competition, or higher ups, which is normal. You need this to obviously um, push yourself, and a healthy competition is a good competition in any case. Um, I think I was quite young. I had the energy and I had the passion inside of me to create something for myself. I also knew the industry quite well, considering I was working at a jewelry boutique since I was 17. So I had that confidence behind me where I knew how the industry works. I knew the behind the scenes. I knew how um, you run different aspects of a boutique and of a different brand as well. So it gave me a confidence to take the start. I definitely had to learn how to navigate throughout the different situations along the way because certain things they don't teach you or you don't really come across even throughout your career. So which was normal. And yeah, I think if you think about the competition, you're probably not going to start anything. You better focus on the inside and then what you trying to translate through your product or through your brand. And that's the better focus point. I believe so.
Absolutely. And I think that's what prevents a lot of people from even starting. They have the dream, but for some, I think the dream speaks so much louder than the fear. And even with what you do, no matter what field of practice you're in, there are countless of others who can do what you do. But if you focus on your brand and your purpose and your mission and what your products may serve, who they serve, and what they represent, that's what sets you apart. And then how you relate to other people and your interactions with other people. But then as I was doing more research about you, I found out from listening to another episode, your market, even though you're based in London, your market is not even really London based, right? You serve clients in other countries as well.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, our society is so global and we are all connected in a way. And I feel like I prefer to speak to that girl inside of every female that wants to be heard, no matter which nationality she comes from, which region, religion, doesn't matter. You're buying the product or you interested in the brand because of the message. There's no restrictions from where it's manufactured and where the brand comes from. This is why we try and make it accessible to everybody. And it's all about the message and it's all about resonating with the brand. I was quite fortunate to sell quite well in the Middle East and quite well-known families. Hearing the message and understanding the meaning behind the brand, which was very encouraging, especially at the beginning of my business in the career. So it was a very big step, and I'm very grateful to work with different nationalities and different countries as you get to learn so much more about the people and you feel so much more connected as well with everybody around the world, especially women, which is what the brand is aiming to empower, inevitably.
Yes, yes. Now, I did want to touch on something because you said something in the beginning that you said a phrase much to the disappointment of your family. Not to delve into that, but what kept you moving forward despite disappointing your family and what hopes they may have had for you? Because for a lot of people or listeners out there, they tend to listen to the ones that are closest to them and start to think, well, maybe they're right. Or they may start to have this shadow of doubt. Maybe they are telling the truth. What propelled you? What kept you moving forward?
I, for some reason, had this belief inside of me that I could do something much greater, and I do have the powers and I do have the energy, and I am able to build. There's nothing in me that should prevent me from building a greater success for my family. Um, I did get an education. I did get my bachelor's degree. That was not for myself. I think that was mainly for my family and to keep them happy. So I guess that was pretty much a compromise that I had to deal with because I don't think I would have had the courage to completely tell them that actually I'm going to pursue this career and I'm going to put 100% into this, because I knew that I'm already making a very big step against what they believe. And I love them. I don't want to disappoint them. I really wish the best and I really want them to be happy and proud. And I want them to be comfortable as well. And I understand their background is different. I understand the way they were raised and the mentality is different. So this was I feel like it was my internal compromise that I had to do because it just made me comfortable. And I knew that in any case, I I've kind of ticked the box for them. I got that background. If anything happens, I can fall on my degree and things can go as you know, as they think
Hmm.
they should. But in any case, I still didn't want to remove myself from having an opportunity to actually build something that I enjoy and something that I love. So I think it's the fear inside of me that I didn't want to be stuck in a career which I did not like, and I didn't want to be stuck in a situation where I haven't tried. So I'd rather try and fail than be stuck in a situation that I'm not happy in.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope that encourages our listeners and whoever may listen to this episode. So let's delve a little bit into your brand a little bit more because you describe your brand as modern and inspired by powerful women. How do you infuse empowerment into your designs, and what message do you hope women gain when wearing your jewelry?
Yeah, 100%. So we focus mainly on our icon collection, which is the Queen. It is actually based around the chess piece, the Queen. And the reason why I use that symbolism is because it's probably the strongest figure on the chessboard. And if you're into chess, you probably know the rules that the Queen is quite powerful. She's able to make all the moves and she's protecting the Queen. But actually, in this game, she is the only figure that represents a female. And I believe in the game of life, as we all engage with this, um, people don't realize how powerful women are and how many moves they're able to make and how many decisions that a woman can make which will influence the king or the so-called symbolism of a king. And this is why the message is power, independence, and elegance. Because the queen, she's always elegant, she's independent, she's able to make her own decisions, but she's also very powerful. So I feel like that is a very strong symbolism, and that can apply to many different situations. It can apply for you to be powerful and pursue your career. It can be applying towards you pursuing creative arts or within many different aspects. So I feel like it's very strong symbolism for a lady to wear something like this. So I
Love that.
hopefully get to inspire all the little girls and all around the world that want to pursue something.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you are an inspiration, and even for the women that you make jewelry for. Now, the other interesting piece that I've learned recently about you is you have lovely pieces on your website, but you started delving into the market of making custom jewelry for your clients. And even some of your clients aren't women, some of them are men. I heard one story about decided he liked it so much he decided to keep the piece for himself.
Yeah, it's an exciting market. I didn't really Um, I didn't expect going into it. It all just happened quite naturally, which is an amazing part about business. You start one thing and then eventually you fall into another, which is it's amazing. And I was never focused in on male jewelry. It's just um, wasn't really within the brand concept just yet. But it just so happened that they were interested. They liked the message. They liked the whole empowerment behind women, but they also wanted something for themselves. They didn't want to feel left out, which is great. Um, and making bespoke jewelry, it's amazing because the stories that you hear and the things that people would like to represent and replicate within a piece of jewelry is quite incredible. So, for example, we had a client which wanted to make special prayer beads within the form of a bracelet jewelry for himself. And that was because his father, back in the day, I believe many years ago, has received a similar piece of jewelry from a lady in Greece when he was traveling, and that meant quite a lot to him. And I believe that was a symbol of good luck within his family. And just hearing that story and how he wanted to incorporate his child's birthday and the birthstone of his mother and many other aspects that related to his family and that little bubble, and you're building that story within one piece of jewelry is very incredible. And you get to learn so much and you get to learn the history and the cultures and so many different aspects of one's person life that you would have never come across, or you would never even touch upon a conversation probably. So yeah, that's an incredible thing to experience, and hopefully there's many more.
Yes, hopefully so. And I love the fact that sometimes we may have an idea of when we're building our brand, when we're building our business, that it's going to go a certain route. And it takes us in a totally different direction. And sometimes we have to be open. I think we should all be open to allowing the path to take us where it will lead us, and be open to the possibilities. Because if we're so super focused and saying, no, this has got to be it this way, this is the way I originally structured it, but then our clients are saying, hey, but I like this, and it can take you on a totally wonderful adventure. So thank you
100%. Yeah,
for
it's
being open to that possibility. Right.
no, it's great. It's always the best way is to be open because there's so many social things within politics and things that can change in our society that would lead your business to a standstill if you couldn't adapt to the situation. But once you adapt, once you see the opportunities, there are many possibilities, many roads to take.
Right. So I think we touched on navigating some challenges. Let's talk about some more successes that you've had, or if you have another challenge that you want to share that can inspire our listeners that you've encountered along the way, not just from your family or friends, but even coming into this industry. Because when I think of jewelry making, I think of people who are apprentices for many years, or they have these connections. Do you find that in the jewelry making business, especially in the fine jewelry making business that you're in, is it a tight knit community? Is it hard to break into?
100%. And that's probably one of the most sensitive and painful topics to have. I actually had a conversation recently with my colleague within the industry, and I was doing research on a brand which I came across, probably my competitor, but it's very new. It's much newer than mine, but it's already established many sales points and very high-end retailers all across the globe. And I was just so frustrated and I felt so down and just so angry for the fact that how does this happen? Like this brand just came out. There's only one collection. There's no history. There's no, I could see that it's so new. It's just so fresh, which is absolutely fine, but you would expect someone to put in much more effort and a bit more work to establish the certain aspects that they have. And then upon my research, you find out that actually they are from a very well-known surname and a very well-known background within the industry. And when it all becomes clear that actually they did have great connections that allowed them to establish these retailers. And then it comes down to just working hard and not paying attention to that, because I'm a strong believer that if you have a talent, if you have an inspiration, and if you have what it takes, it might take a little bit longer, but once you actually receive that and you get to where you need to be, you're going to stay there. We don't know how long that other competitor and the brand will stay there. And, as quickly as it comes, it will probably go as quickly as well. So this is why you have to be strong, but it is very frustrating when you see situations like that. So it's, yeah. And I'm sure it happens for many other industries as well.
Thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that. I really felt that. That really touched me because I've been through that myself, still go through it sometimes. And then you start to do this comparison shopping, if you will, in a negative way, where you look at someone and say, hey, they came up behind me, or you started something, you started this dream and vision, and you have the background, you have the story, you have the roots, the grit, and the grace and the talent. And then someone who has more connections or who has more of a leg up, more resources, more money, whatever it may be, and they seem to go ahead. But like you also said, sometimes as quick as they build something, in a year or two, you don't see that person anymore. And I've seen that happen. Or they've totally gone off into something else because they're not able to sustain what they were originally setting out to do. So, one thing I want to say is I want to applaud you for starting a business, number one, before the height of the pandemic. And two, you're still here. You're still able to share the success of, hey, I've created this jewelry and she has beautiful pieces on a website, guys. But then because people connected with you and your story and your brand, because your brand and you are one and the same in what it represents, been able to tap into a market that doesn't just suit the masses. It suits the people who connects with you. And that's the beauty about having a business, because we can do the same thing. I mean, you think about how many singers, artists are out there, but there's a reason why people come back to that one particular business, artist, brand, whatever it is. It's because there's a connection there. So I applaud you for sticking with it. And also, it can be sensitive and it can hurt sometimes. But the tenacity that you have, and we all have to be tenacious to keep going, to keep picking ourselves, dusting ourselves off, and staying focused, keeping our head down, and staying focused on what it is that we're doing. Because if we know that this is us, this is our talent, this is what we bring to the table, no one can take that away from you, from me, from anyone else. So thank you for sharing that. Are there any additional achievements or moments of success that have been most rewarding to you so far?
think I'm very grateful for people within the industry recognizing the brand. I appreciate every single client that I come across and everyone I get to work with. But it's even more rewarding when you actually have an industry giant or a big retailer that does notice you and they hear your voice and they understand the message behind the brand and they take that opportunity and a leap of faith with you, essentially, because investing in a niche brand, it is quite daunting. You don't know the returns that you're going to get. And I completely understand that. So we actually managed to establish a very good sales of point in London, which is Swiss Gallery. It's an independent boutique, and the owner loved the message. He understood what we're trying to represent. And he followed our journey for a few years actually. He knew me um, since I was much younger when I was just building the brand. He didn't take me on at the beginning because he wasn't really sure. I don't think he had the faith in me actually going through this tough journey. But when he actually seen that there is achievement, there is progress, and every day there's something new happening within the brand, he realized that actually I am quite serious about this. I'm not just a little girl messing around. So I'm here in the long run. And yeah, he was willing to take the brand on, which was amazing. And now we have a very nice location in the heart of London, which is amazing.
Yay. Yay. I love it. And you brought out another valuable point because when you're starting out in a business, we may talk to someone and they may say, no, not at this time. Doesn't mean no forever. And a lot of times it's because people are sitting back watching you. They want to see how long you're going to stay in this with the stick to itiveness. Are you going to stay with it? Is this just a fleeting fancy?
100%.
And
And I'm so sorry.
no,
I just,
you're good.
I like what you said about they are saying, they are watching you, and that is 100%. Everybody is watching you, especially in the industry. If you get a no, you already got a response. You got their attention. They seen you. If they're staying quiet, that's when you should be worried about. A no is an answer, which is great because you can come back to it and you say, "Are you sure it's a no?" You can double question no. You could ask question, "Why is it a no?" You could follow up on that. So you already started a conversation, which is great. So don't ever be discouraged by a no. A no
Mm,
is much better than a silence. Just
right.
personal opinion.
No, and that's fine. And then sometimes when they are silent, doesn't mean they're still not watching you. They just probably
Yes.
want to stick around and say, okay, she's not going away. She's still here. They're still here. So this is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so many wonderful gems and treasures, for lack of a better word, with everyone today. So we hope that this episode has inspired you all. Senya, you have definitely inspired me. I don't know what it was, but it was something about, I was like, you know what? If I could meet this woman in person, we would probably be great friends. And I had to have you on the show because your
Thank
story was
you.
so inspiring. But
Thank you for
before
having me.
you're welcome. But before I let you go,
Mhm.
two rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Oh, yes.
You're ready for anything. You've embarked into a world that is very difficult to get into, so you're ready for anything. What what is a favorite piece from your own collection?
I think a piece that I wear every day is the chess queen. And I
Can you
think
hold it
that,
up so we can see?
yeah, it's
Mm,
the icon collection. It's the first collection I designed, and I think it has the strongest message, and it's warm and dear to my heart. I cannot let it go.
mhm.
And whatever happens, I can still look back and remember the message which I'm
Mm,
trying to portray to everyone. So,
wonderful. And is there a dream collaboration or project that you'd like to pursue?
yes, there is definitely. I would love to collaborate with a very strong, fierce, and independent female out there. Um, I would love to share her message as well. It it can be it can be a woman of a different culture. It could be a woman of a different background, but I would love the brand to be recognized, and I would love to collaborate with another woman that has a similar message with me, and hopefully build something unique and something special as well.
Okay, so now
Yes.
you piqued my curiosity. And since this is going out to the masses, do you have someone in mind? Because you just put it out there. Yeah, they might
I,
hear it. You
d-
never know.
I do have someone in mind, and I am trying to reach out to them. So
Mhm.
I'm a great believer of keeping it quiet until it actually happens. So I do apologize. I don't want to give the name out for now.
Nope, nope, you're totally fine. You just piqued my interest as all. And then some people, they don't have a problem just saying, hey, I would love to do a collaboration with this person. So, and it's worked to their benefit in some cases. So it's okay. It's okay. And you never know. And it may come true. And when it does come true, then you can reach out to me and say, hey, it happened. It finally happened.
100%.
And I
If it
love to
happens.
hear. Yes, when it happens. How about that? When it
Yes,
happens.
yes, that's
When it
better.
happens, definitely. Yeah. It feels a lot better too, doesn't it,
Yeah,
when you say
yeah,
when it
yeah.
happens? All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for this particular episode with Xenia Mirella. Again, head on over to her website, check out some of her lovely pieces. Xenia Mirella, she's on YouTube, she's on Instagram, but check her out at KSENIAMIRELLA.com and look at some of those lovely pieces. And the Queen, of course, is her favorite iconic piece that you want to check out. And again, guys, above all else, keep dreaming, keep pursuing, but most importantly, continue to work it, live it, own it in your everyday lives. Until next time, take care.